Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, our community comes together for National Recovery Month to increase awareness of mental health and addiction recovery, and we show you how easy it is to adopt that perfect pet. Here to discuss these topics and a whole lot more is the councilwoman who represents Ward 2. You know who it is, Victoria Seaman. Welcome back. How are you?
Great to be here.
Here we are well into the fall all of a sudden. Wow, where is this year gone?
Right around the corner from Christmas.
I know. It's
the
holidays are knocking on the door here. So
it went from hot to holiday.
It did. It always does. We go from sweltering to, ooh, man, I need to put a sweater on all of a sudden, or put a sweatshirt
in one day.
on. I know. Yeah, that's Las Vegas. So.
Yes.
Well, Councilwoman, we both reside in Ward 2. This is the area you represent, and we know the area pretty well. You especially do. Mm-hmm. For those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 2 is located, well, don't worry. We're going to show you where it is on the map, because this is the area that we're primarily going to be talking about today. It's basically the area in orange there that's west of the Rainbow Curve. If you live in that area or work in that area, then you're in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And if you're a resident out there, then you are represented on the city council by Victoria Seaman. I'm always amazed at that whole area out west of the 215. That is a hot...
Growing.
Yeah.
You know, I just can only imagine it in 10 years. It's going to be completely full of homes and stores, and it's going to look completely different because they're building like crazy there.
Yeah, and it's just a beautiful area of town. You're up as you're heading up the mountain there, and so the views back down into the valley are just gorgeous from up there.
It's beautiful.
So
it's a little cooler than the rest of the valley.
It is. Exactly, even in the hottest of times.
Yes.
So. Well, we have a lot to talk about today. I love these first two topics. You posted this on Facebook. You said, Councilman Brian Knutson and I had the privilege of presenting a proclamation to Students Against Substance Abuse, recognizing October 10th, 2022 as Students Against Substance Abuse Day. Now, this has been a passion of yours really since you've been on the city council, about raising awareness and I think at the same time, tolerance of people who are struggling with addiction.
Yeah, and getting rid of the stigma.
Yeah.
Because I know so many great people that, well, first of all, you know, we have so many people that have addiction problems. Yeah. Everybody's family or friend, somebody knows someone who's also died of an overdose. Yeah. And if we don't stop the stigma and start finding solutions, we're going to lose a lot more people that we know. And it's so important for me to bring awareness and to offer solutions rather than judgment.
Right.
And what
you've often said that. That's a great way to phrase it.
Yeah. And so I'm so grateful to Councilman Knutson, because this was really something he was involved with, and he asked me to join him in doing this.
Because he knows, you have a very strong connection with always wanting to help this group. Also, too, Councilwoman, I think, too, mental health awareness, that's kind of in the same boat, where you've tried to raise the awareness that there's no stigma. If you're struggling, look for solutions. I love how you said that versus judgment. Right,
and a lot of people who have mental illness take drugs to mask it. Yeah. And so we're not seeing the underlying problem, and we're judging people who are addicted instead of saying, why are they in this situation? And then once they get addicted, it's a really hard cycle to break.
Yeah, sure.
And then, you know, for them to get off the drugs is so... It takes a lot. So we need to be helping.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important.
Councilwoman, you always have talked about that too, where the resources are, how to find the resources, what to do. Do you have any thoughts on what you could share here? If they know someone who's maybe struggling, maybe they're struggling themselves, where's a good place to begin?
Foundation for Recovery is a good place to go see. There are other places. There's a new place called Vegas Stronger that
we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them. And also, you know, call our office and we'll help you find places.
I was going to say
you can always call us and we'll try to find you the help that you need.
Point you in the right direction.
I know that there are just so many places, but a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah, and to your point, I think they're afraid that people are going to think less of me. I'm going to be judged. It's going to be appear as a sign of weakness if I step forward and say, hey, listen, I'm really struggling.
No, we think it's a sign of strength that you really want help and that you're willing to get help. And like I said, you can call my office because I have a heart for this.
Yep.
And I know that people are struggling and we just want to help them.
Yep.
No judgment here.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Of course, before the end of the program, we always give out the Councilwoman's contact information, so we will share that with you again. Maybe you're interested in finding out a little bit more. She or her great staff will help point you in the right direction for sure. Well, speaking of Vegas Stronger, you mentioned them. You posted this on Facebook. You said, great day today with my friends Joe and Ryan touring Vegas Stronger. Thanks for everything you're doing in the community. And Councilwoman, you touched on this, but tell everybody, what does Vegas Stronger do exactly?
It's that place where those who need help or want help can actually get help. So these are a couple of friends of mine, Ryan and Joe. Joe here does their, healthy, better lifestyles, helps to train people. But this place is the first step that you can go.
If you have addiction issues.
If you have addiction issues, and they will help you with treatment, helping you to get help for treatment. And they actually go out into the community and bring people who need help. Yeah. So it's amazing. We see a lot of places popping up that are willing to help people who have problems with addiction. And I think it's great. I think anytime we can get a nonprofit that's willing to go out and help people and get them off the street and help them to better their life is great. So I was so happy to tour it.
They're located off at Bonanza. I think you were saying more in the downtown area, but they help people all over.
All
the
over.
valley. Yeah. So you don't have to be from downtown to get the help, obviously. So
anywhere.
Well, good luck to them, and keep up the good work, gentlemen, for the work you're doing. And then you also posted this on Facebook. You said, it was a pleasure to attend the Art Affair of the Year fundraiser to benefit the Reach 702 Foundation. And tell us about Reach 702. There you are. There's the big sign, Reach 702. Obviously, they're getting their word out. And explain what they do, Councilwoman.
Well, this organization, there you see Judge Kearns there.
Senator Kearns, yeah.
This organization actually raises money for the specialty courts that we have here at the City of Las Vegas, which are amazing. And one of the persons that heads this organization, a friend of mine, a pastor, and it's just great that they're going out there in the community and raising money for our courts.
Yeah, the courts, especially courts, Councilwoman, we can explain a little bit.
No, wait, we have
Women in Need.
Women in Need.
Youth Offender.
Youth Offender, which is Judge Kearns.
We have the Veterans Court.
Veterans Court.
Folks, these are people typically within these different groups who have repeat offenses where they will come back to court over and over again on various charges, often drug-related. It can be a variety of things, but the idea with the specialty courts, Councilwoman, explain a little bit, is to prevent people from, instead of just throwing them in jail again, is to help break that cycle.
Yeah, break the cycle so they don't keep coming back and getting incarcerated, and so that they can lead a normal life. But it's like a vicious cycle, and so I love that we do this, and I know that we're like a model across the country with our courts because we're helping so many people, so many women, so many youth offenders, and like you said, the Veterans Court. So great things happening in this city.
Yeah. We also have a traffic court for people who will keep offending, getting moving violations. Again, the idea is just like, let's break that cycle of they call of recidivism, where you're back in the court again, back in the court again. And Councilman, to your point, our courts now are the model for courts all across the country to do the same thing. You've attended, I know you've been to some of the Women in Need court graduations and participated firsthand in helping those ladies get on the right track. Maybe they've been in trouble with the law multiple times
and it's amazing to hear their stories.
Yeah, how they've turned their lives around.
How they've turned their lives around, and a lot of them have children, so it just benefits the community more than anything that we get these people that can get their life on track and help them as much as we can. Same as addiction. We've learned that we need to step up and find solutions rather than incarcerate. And I love that we do that.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's just a revolving door for those folks.
And it's not good for them, and it's not good for the community.
Exactly right. Exactly right. No question about it. Well, Reach 702 Foundation, thank you so much for the work you're doing, and thank you for supporting our specialty courts here at the Municipal Court at the City of Las Vegas. Appreciate that. And then, Councilwoman, you're just all over the place. Back on October 10th, you were at the International Intellectual Property Law Association Conference. You welcomed these folks. You were one of the speakers there as they came into town. And you'll have to tell everybody, what does the Intellectual Property Group do?
Exactly that. They're looking for solutions for intellectual property because billions of dollars are lost because of intellectual property. And it was just great to be able to welcome people back to Las Vegas to have conferences here.
Yeah.
A much needed conference to talk about intellectual property, especially with tech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Websites, you have, there's so much more now with intellectual property than we realize.
Oh, absolutely. The whole thing with NFTs, non-fungible transactions, where you can own a painting virtually, basically.
Exactly.
And it's a whole new world.
So we're moving fast, and these groups have to move just as fast.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, glad they came to town, and glad you had an opportunity to welcome them. Thank you for bringing your conference back here. It's been we had a dry spell there for a while
we
during
did,
the pandemic.
and now they're coming back, and they're enjoying themselves, and it's just great to see that in our city again.
It sure is. Sure is. Good to see. It's so good for our economy here. Councilwoman, it's hard to believe, but it's been 5 years since the October 1 shooting that took place down on the South Strip. And once again, this past year, we remembered those we lost with our special ceremony at the Healing Garden in the city of Las Vegas.
And it's so special because it allows those people who lost a loved one to come somewhere and they're, with the garden and really know that people care, and that in the middle of the night we're reading off the names of those who perished. And we need to do this forever. This is such a good thing that we do to remember those who lost their lives.
Yeah, it's really a very emotional evening. We read the names at the same time that the shots first rang out, 10:05, and read the names of all the 58 that died that night. And the thing that's really hard is that so many of the families return. Many of those that were killed were from California, so their families come back each year.
Canada.
Canada as well.
I've seen
and they
folks
arrive.
from
They do.
Canada.
They come as well. And even after 5 years, obviously the grief is still very strong.
The grief is going to be there for a long time, and it's so wonderful that we at the city do this every year for them.
Yeah. You can see after each name is read, a bell is tolled, and then a candle lit. And again, there are 58 trees in the garden for the 58 that we lost that night.
With so many memories about that person, you can kind of walk through that garden and know a little bit about that person.
That is so true. That is so true.
I love that garden. It's so special.
It is. It is. And Councilwoman, it's funny you say that, because in the 5 years the garden has been there, I don't think it's ever looked any better than it does right now. It's absolutely so immaculately kept. A lot of volunteers help, and the trees have matured. So between the canopy of the trees now and just the meticulous maintenance that has gone on, the place just, it's never looked any better than it does now. We should probably mention, for people that don't know, the shooting happened on a Sunday evening, and then within just a few days, 5 days after the shooting, volunteers working with the city of Las Vegas, we provided the land, a vacant lot near the downtown, near Casino Center in Charleston, and volunteers did all the work to build the garden. We dedicated it on Friday night, the following Friday after the shooting. So people wanted to help. They wanted to do something to express their grief and to express their support for the community. This is one of the things that occurred almost practically spontaneously. And all these years later, it's now become a focal point where people still remember those.
And they'll come back every year.
Yeah. So hopefully we will never have another event like that in our city or anywhere else. Very hard, but I'm glad that we're still remembering, to your point, that we're still remembering those that we lost. So, and then, Councilwoman, Shifting gears here a little bit, you posted this on Facebook. You said, I want to congratulate the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for a successful National Night Out event. This is always a great event. This particular one, they happen all over the valley, but this one that you were at was in downtown Summerlin.
It was the Summerlin Command that came out to this one, and Spring Valley. So I saw both captains there. And yeah, like you said, they do it all over the city, but this one happened in downtown Summerlin. And what I love about it, it's our Metro going out and just interacting with the community. And it's such a great event. And, you know, our Metro, again, can be a model for the entire country of how they reach out to the public and the relationship that they have.
Yeah, that community-oriented policing, I think they call it, makes a huge difference because you build that relationship with the community before there's some incident.
Right.
And Metro has used that very effectively for years and years and years.
Years, yes.
Yeah. Through events like this, you get to meet the police officers who patrol the area. You can talk to them about issues. You can talk to them about a variety of things, and it kind of creates that bond between the community and the police.
And they reach out to all of the community, minorities, different religions, and have so many special events. So they're interacting with everyone.
Yeah.
And it's very special.
Well, you were out there supporting it too, and I noticed you brought your guard dog out there with you.
I did, my little Frenchie, who loves Metro.
Looked like he was having a good event too there, so very good. Councilman, we should mention that that event, that National Night Out, generally around the country, it's the first Tuesday in August, typically in many cities, but here in the hot parts of the country, we also do it in October because
and I hope we continue to do that.
It's pretty hot in August, the first Tuesday in August generally.
My little Frenchie wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Too hot for him.
We do it the first Tuesday in.
It's perfect weather.
In October,
Perfect weather.
That started out as National Leave the Light On Night, where the idea was you were supposed to leave your porch light on to let the bad guys in the neighborhood know that, hey, all the neighbors are all watching each other and looking out for one another. That's evolved into National Night Out, which is kind of the police and the community coming together, as we saw in downtown Summerlin. So
I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me.
Pretty cool, though. But look what it's
very cool.
Look what it's evolved to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff. So, Councilwoman, you are like all over the place. Downtown Summerlin, Washington, D.C., September 22nd. You and Dave McGowan on your staff, you guys were back in Washington, D.C. for the D.C. fly-in. You'll have to explain
the chamber fly-in. So every year, the Las Vegas Chamber brings a lot of people together, and we go to D.C. and network with
the lawmakers,
everyone. That it's such a great event because you really do get to know the Washington, D.C. folks that maybe work on some of our issues here at the city, and it's much better when you meet them in person and you're able to speak with them. And it's also nice as you see some of our city folks.
Zach there was on the right, Zach Butcher, and then Booker, and then in the middle that was Dave McGowan on your staff.
And just bringing the delegation together to meet with the congressional delegation to work on issues that we have, whether it be BLM or what have you. It's just always nice to kind of network in person, so now you know who you're talking with, and you know, it's a great event.
And everyone hears directly. The lawmakers in D.C. can hear directly from the folks in Las Vegas. These are some of the things that we need. These are some ways you could help us out. And it's like you say, that face-to-face interaction, developing those relationships,
and some very great different meetings that they hold to hear from congressional leaders. So it was really nice.
Well,
it was my first one. They do it every year.
Right.
So I was really glad that I got to attend this year.
Good for you. Good for you. It's a pretty large delegation from Nevada.
We had about 200, over 200 people this time. It was the biggest one this year than they've had in the past, and you know, I guess people are hearing about it and wanting to finally go, like myself. Yeah,
that's great. Well, thanks for supporting us outside of the city council chambers too. That's great. We want to talk about Art in the Park. That took place back on October 16th. Very
Correct.
successful
Very
event.
successful.
Bruce Trent Park.
We will be doing it again in the spring. So stay tuned. We'll be putting out flyers, and we hope to get more artists and more people attending.
Yeah. Art in the Park, you guys, is right there. Bruce Trent Park is right at Vegas and Rampart. And very well attended. Perfect time of the year to do it. The weather was gorgeous back.
We only do it when the weather's
Yeah,
gorgeous. So
October
it's
16th.
October and in the spring.
Yeah.
And jazz music, food
Yeah.
trucks. It was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, here's a little flavor.
Don't miss it next time.
Yeah. A lot of nice shade trees out there, as you can see at Bruce Trent Park. And so, yeah, vendors have got their stuff set up. You can go check out the different kinds of art, get something to eat, listen to the music. It's fun. It's a really fun event. And now, in conjunction, I'm assuming that also you had the Growloween event. Was that around the same time?
That was the next
The
day.
next day.
And we support that. Three Dog Bakery puts it on, and we support that with them. And they bring out all their animals in costume, and they're so adorable. And it's a great event.
Right.
And that was the next day. They actually came by our event to kind of
promote it a little bit.
Well,
yeah.
promote it and see where they wanted to position
Oh, very
everything.
good.
And they had a very successful event the next day.
That's awesome. You know, I've got to tell you, Councilwoman, the Art in the Park event was a home run this year because the people were parked all around. It was a well-attended event.
Yes, it
you know,
was.
and we've had, it's been big in the past, but this has got to be the biggest year we've
Yeah,
ever had.
we want it to be even bigger.
Yeah.
We have the capability of making it even bigger, but I think every year people start talking about it, it will become much bigger.
Yeah, exactly. It'll
But
become a
a
real
lot of
tradition.
fun. It's just, bringing community together. And Bruce Trent Park, now that we've given it an uplift, I mean, it's being utilized quite a bit.
It sure is.
And
It
it's
sure
a
is.
great park. It's a beautiful park.
It is. It's in great shape, and it's just a great location.
And there were so many kids in the playground.
Yeah, which we've redone.
Yeah, we did that. And so not only did you have the art fair going on, but you also had a lot of parents with their
just
children.
out having
in
fun.
the-
Great locations, right off Summerlin Parkway, just north of the Parkway. If you get off at Rampart and
Vegas and Rampart.
yeah, it's right there. Boom, you're right there. So. Okay, so everybody's like, oh man, I missed it. Well, don't worry, because she has other events coming up that we're going to tell you about. You have a shredding event, document shredding event, going to
Correct.
happen on November 12th.
That's correct.
This is going to be at the Pavilion Center Pool parking lot. You know, all those old tax forms or bank forms or other,
You know, these are well attended.
They
even
are.
though
They are.
people, you would think people are starting to put things on a computer or a drive, but I got to tell you, it's still very well attended because we're doing the medication disposal as well.
That's always great, too. If you got old meds, don't throw them down the toilet or into the trash. Bring them out to these events. They'll be disposed of properly. But, Councilwoman, this is going to be at the Pavilion Center Pool, as we said, from
Correct.
10 to noon on Saturday, November 12th. And again, don't be a victim of identity theft. You got those old things laying around. You got your personal information on it. Just bring it to one of these events, and we'll dispose of it. And I mean, they really pulverize that. The paper shredded into like confetti.
You can't tape it
there
together
would be
like the ones you have at your home.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of shred. No,
this is impossible.
Totally different.
Yeah.
So, and you got those meds too, as Councilwoman said. Bring them out. You can get rid of those as well safely. So. And then, Councilwoman, we want to remind everyone out there that every Tuesday you do your Adopt a Pet segment, right?
Oh, yes. And we are so excited about. There's so many people that write me and say, how do we adopt that cat or pet? So it's really important that we get the word out. We're doing them from the Nevada SPCA right now, and it's cats, dogs, they have rabbits, they have guinea pigs. Don't go buy a guinea pig at a pet store. There's like so many that need a home.
Exactly.
And this beautiful dog is a little bit older, and they need homes.
Yeah.
Look at this rabbit. This rabbit is beautiful. And that cat.
And look at the size of that cat.
That's a bobcat, just kidding.
Yeah. That's Lori Heron there holding that cat.
Yeah.
And I mean, Lori is not a teeny person, and that cat makes her look like that she is. So
I know. And they're healthy, beautiful cats. And, this is the place to go to get your animals. Any place any shelter, we've
Yeah.
Animal Foundation, Nevada SPCA. We really want people to adopt.
You always say, don't shop, adopt, because
Yeah.
there's so many animals out there that need a home.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday, Councilwoman is going to feature some of these animals so that
Every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday, so that you can see these animals, and if maybe there's one catches your eye, and you can give it a perfect home. And then, Councilwoman, also too, I love this segment. You're going to continue doing your Small Business Saturday segment, and this is where you highlight businesses of all types that are in Ward 2.
That's correct. So every Saturday you'll see some business being featured that either they do the work in Ward 2 or they're in Ward 2. And we want to continue that. So if somebody has a small business or you know someone, just have them contact our office, and we are happy to come out, film it, and feature it.
Yeah.
And it's really successful because, like you said, there were so many businesses that you didn't know about.
Exactly.
And now you do. And the same with me. It's like I didn't know that place was right down
Right.
the street, and now we're going. We're shopping at local places, and it's really wonderful.
Well, you've turned me on to so many places through that segment that I had absolutely no idea that were literally, within a couple miles of the house. And it's great. So if you own a small business and you're in Ward 2, you want to be featured, hey, we want to hear from you. Call 702-229-2420. Or if you want to learn about what's going on in that neck of the woods, then just tune in to her Small Business Saturday segments. She has them on her social media platforms. You are always going to learn something that you didn't know, and I've really enjoyed that segment. It's like I say, had no idea that these places were so close to me. So
Yeah.
Thanks for doing it.
You're welcome.
Well, Councilwoman, we are about out of time. The half hour always goes quickly. But we want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, you can find her on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. She's very active. You can also contact the Councilwoman by just picking up the phone. We do that, 702-229-2420, or send her an email. Her address is ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she or one of her great staff will get right back to you, as you always do. Well, nice work. We'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 2. We'll be well into the holidays by then.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And there's a lot going on during the holidays.
So,
Yes.
exactly right. Looking forward. But anyway, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Everybody out there, don't miss our next show beginning on November 10th with Ward 5 City Councilman Cedric Creer. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And also watch for our QR code during the closing credits of this show to download and subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can also watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time around.